welcome to episode 4 of Potato Tomato. My name is Ryan Engel, and I'm here with Jack and Cole. Today we'll be discussing TikTok. In my opinion, TikTok is kind of sketchy.
That's it?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm Jack, and I think that if the allegations are true, then it should probably be banned, but it might just be a little bit too early to tell.
I'm Cole, and I think that the whole situation with TikTok is really similar to the situation we had with Huawei was that months ago? Or a year?
I don't know.
It was a while ago. It's the same situation. Chinese-based company harvesting their users' data.
Yeah. Okay, now that we know everyone's opinions, let's go to the discussion.
So the one source that every news source has is from this one Reddit user who claimed to backwards engineer the app. But the thing is, he published a video on it, but you can't find that video anymore. The YouTube link doesn't lead to anything. It leads to a blank site. But this user claimed to have backwards engineered the app. Okay, I should have. So TikTok is a data collection service that is simply veiled as a social network. If there's an API to get information on you, your contacts, or your device while they're using it. The problem is with anything that's free, that includes social media, games, apps, there's always a product for sale.
Right.
Either it's things you can buy in the game or your data. For most social media, your data is how the companies make money. They sell your data to other advertising campaigns, or sometimes it's sold in the black market. So it's really sketchy when you look into just what these companies do, but you just don't see it from face value because you wouldn't think that they'd be into business like that.
And sometimes I would both hope and assume that it can be innocent. They can just tell based on advertising which types of advertising are more effective, just out of a general group of people. But yeah, you can definitely get personal information out of it, and that's not good. I think that it's okay as long as you keep the whole group of people anonymous and you're just using it to find the best business methods. But if these allegations are true, then they are not doing that at all. I also read the CEO of TikTok denied the claims, but it said that while it's based in the U.S., ByteDance is still required to adhere to the laws of China.
In China, the situation with Huawei is super similar because Huawei is also based in China. They are one of the 3 biggest smartphone manufacturers around the world I think they're behind Samsung and ahead of Apple. But they were caught giving U.S. documents for people in power in the U.S. to the Chinese because they're based in China, so they have to follow the rules of China.
Right.
So the government made them hand over files. And some people believe that that China is doing the same thing with TikTok. And also, if you look into it, most people, if it passes the algorithm, which most of the time it does, unless it's something really bad, your first post on, I don't know what it's called, on TikTok always is really popular because you try to get you hooked into that virality of the program itself, so you keep going in it, trying to get that next big hit.
They try to convince you to stay.
Yeah.
And it's if there's anything that we've learned about communist governments, if they're staying quiet, they're probably doing something they shouldn't. And I mean, have we heard anything about China with this?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
There's been little things, but nothing too serious.
Yeah. And I mean, in the past, any time that communist governments have hidden something, it's usually been bad.
And another thing that is sketchy about it is with TikTok, you can apparently set up your post location, it'll say where you did it and stuff.
Right.
But if you do that, I recommend you turn off access to location, because after you give them that permission, people have tracked that it sends out a location ping to the servers every 30 seconds. So that means every 30 seconds it's sending out a little ping to the servers that shows you exactly where every user is within that time.
It's basically like giving them your Find My iPhone app.
Yeah, but it's not consensual.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it is technically, but...
Yes, but people don't read
That's
the fine
the thing.
print.
Yeah, now people should learn from this, and I do it all the time too. You just click accept permissions, but we're going to have to start reading into it, especially now as technology is getting more and more advanced. There's going to be more and more sketchy ways of getting information, and so you're going to have to filter that so they don't know everything about you.
they hide all of these things that they do in the terms and conditions, which, yes, I think that we do need to start looking into those and actually reading them fully before we actually install things. Which for Windows, I don't want to read all of that, but it should be necessary because there are some things that you might not like them doing with your data that they do.
And this says the Indian, you know how India banned TikTok after that whole skirmish between them and China with the borders.
Mm-hmm.
The Indian officials stated that the apps were stealing their surreptitiously transmitted users' data in an unauthorized manner to servers which have locations outside India. And the complication of these data, it's mining and profiling by elements hostile to national security and defense of India, which ultimately upinges upon the sovereignty and integrity of India, is a matter of very deep and immediate concern. So basically, India is convinced that they were using it to get not only like information to try to get you to buy more stuff, they're trying to get dangerous information that could threaten an entire country.
Another thing that people have noticed, and this is from more than just one person, this is from multiple people that have also tried this. So there are multiple protections in place to prevent you from reversing or debugging the app. Apparently the app behavior changes slightly if they know that you're trying to figure out what they're doing. So that means that they can tell if you're trying to go into the code and figure out what it's sending out, and it changes how it sends it to the servers. So it's super hard to track what they're sending, so they don't want you to know what they are sending to that and what they're not. And also, most websites, most reputable ones, they have the HTTPS, which is secure, which is more secure than most websites.
Yeah.
Up until a couple months ago, all their websites were HTTP, which it is super easy to figure out users' names and birthdays because just how insecure that is.
And what do you think, Trenton?
Well, I've been looking here. There's apparently a California lawsuit against TikTok because this person apparently downloaded TikTok but never made an account. And then months later, she found that TikTok had made an account for her. And then she apparently made a couple of videos, but didn't save or publish the videos. And then allegedly TikTok took the videos and her data without her knowledge and sent it to servers in China.
TikTok's just being proactive.
A lot of people want also to see the analytics from like different like larger accounts that they're sending out, and apparently they encrypt all the analytics in an algorithm that changes within every update. So those websites, those apps update like once a week or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's quite often. But every time they re-encrypt that. So if you were to crack the encryption, they just change it. So it's almost impossible to figure out what they're sending.
And it was like the same thing with Snapchat. The terms and permissions, they change so much that it's almost like they're setting you up to where you wouldn't want to read them because they change so much. Which I don't think we've heard anything dangerous about Snapchat, but I know that their terms and permissions change an absurd amount.
And also apparently, so all social media networks, they all collect a lot of data on you. They all sell your information.
Right.
But from this, the original poster of this says, "From what it's worth, I reverse Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, and Twitter apps. They don't collect anywhere near the same amount of data that TikTok does. And they sure as heck aren't outright trying to hide exactly what's being sent like TikTok is. It's like comparing a cup of water to the ocean. They just don't compare." So that just gives you the scope of how much information they are sending out.
Right.
There was a time when my mom wanted me to download TikTok, and I noticed immediately your battery drained so fast. At least for me, it did.
So that means it's doing something with all that battery.
Something in the background.
Yeah, it's like, because with some viruses, most of them nowadays are just for Bitcoin mining. Like, if one way to check if you have a virus is if your battery health just drops off because it's constantly have things running in the background mining for Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's using up that GPU.
And it's like, I know with a lot of VPN companies, they'll encrypt the information that they're encrypting from other people. They encrypt it from their own employees. So that, like, the only person that knows the information is you. The employees can't even get to it.
But if it's in the U.S., the U.S. can contact them and force them to unencrypt it.
But it's
to
like,
give them the information.
there are ways for them. It's not like they just forgot. There are ways to get around that personal data where you can protect it from even the people working there, but they're just choosing not to.
Yeah. So, another thing I just read, they're also apparently gathering information on like your IP address, email address, other social media accounts, and also your contacts, apparently. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Which, like, most of the times in social media, have you put your email in, it's either so you can get your password back, or so that they can email you stuff about their app.
Right.
That's usually when you sign in with your email, that's what you're doing. But yeah, looking for your location and stuff like that, that's not
weird
stuff you need.
Lots of people are calling TikTok malware, which I wouldn't personally say that it is malware, but I'd say it can be a problem. And lots of people are saying that TikTok is benefiting them because it's helping them spread information, which I believe that, yes, that is a positive. But they don't understand how bad the situation is, how much data they're collecting, and the harmful things that they could do and possibly are doing with that data they have.
And most of the people on there are just doing stupid dances, and then the Chinese government's finding out everything about you. And I just read on here, there was a 2019 settlement where the FTC was reaching out to the TikTok, which at the time was Musical.ly, I believe.
Musically.
And it said that it violated the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And it was a $5.7 million lawsuit, and it went through. And it seems like, so this was happening last year, and it just kind of laid low for a while, it would appear.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of issues with that act recently, like YouTube as well. YouTube was hit hard with that act.
Yeah.
That's why you see a lot of videos marked for kids, and lots of creators on YouTube are getting demonetized because their algorithm finds their videos for kids, even though they necessarily aren't.
Like the entire Lego channel is designated as for kids.
Right.
Multiple
kind of annoying.
YouTubers who are adults who do curse and have Lego channels, it's a thing. They're all demonetized as for kids, and they're marked as for kids, and then they can't make any money because of that.
Yep.
And also this is going into more YouTube. It's fun. But YouTube has leaned less towards individuals, and it's more a place for big companies like late night shows to put their information.
Especially with COVID.
Yeah, it's more, even before that. It's more for advertisers and not for individuals. It's changed a lot since 2012 or
But I mean, TikTok has done a good job of making an app that people want, evidently, because I couldn't think of other companies that could be sued $5.7 million for violating your privacy and still be growing and getting more popular a year later.
Yeah. Well, YouTube. Facebook.
Well, I mean, those are like the top of the top, though.
Yeah.
Apparently, TikTok was at one point the 5th most popular app on the iOS store, apparently, or something like that, which is insane.
Yeah, and they weren't even around for that long.
4th most popular free iPhone app downloaded in 2019.
And they've only been around for like a year or two, haven't they?
They've been around for more than that. They just rebranded because they were originally Musical.ly.
But it's, So, I mean, I guess the next question is, what do you think should be the approach to this in the future, or if there should even be an approach?
I think, personally, the average person, they don't have much problems with their data.
Yeah.
They don't care. I feel like officials, like government agents and people who work in government, I feel like they shouldn't have it on their phones. They shouldn't be legally allowed to have it, but if they really want it, because some of them have personal phones and work phones.
Yeah.
They can't have it on their work phones. They're just going to download it on their personal phones. If it's banned, people are just going to use VPNs, change where their phone is based off of different countries.
Right.
Yep.
But I mean,
People are going to get around it. People don't care.
Could the issue be like, sure, I don't care what the people or what China knows about me, but could it be an issue on a national scale? Like, if everyone doesn't care, so then China knows about everything about everyone, do you think that could pose a threat?
It could.
It could, but the thing is, what are they going to do with that information, which we don't know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that India would
Why don't you
take
read
such
some
an
of the
extreme
reviews?
approach.
Why don't you read some of the reviews?
All right. Well, there's a bunch of complaints about searching for followers.
It's
I think
just
this
some
app is
questions.
Sila something. That person says, I think this app is kind of cool. It has many filters and editing tools to make the video better. Blah blah blah.
What I
But
don't
I
like
love
it-
it though.
What I kind of don't like it's because it lags so much, and ads are always included in the app.
Yeah.
With ads in the app, that's kind of
That's-
needed because that's how they make their money.
It's a free
Besides selling your information on the dark web. Other than that, that's how they make their money.
Yeah, most of it's just complaints about.
How the app isn't very well optimized.
Yeah.
Trent, how do you think the government should handle going
Wait.
about it?
Scroll.
Oh, there's something
There's a
else.
one.
Oh, they responded to this one.
It's a really nice app, but it doesn't have a green screen effect. Cool. Then TikTok says, sorry for the unpleasant experience.
So they're better than some app publishers because
Yeah.
most app publishers don't even respond to any.
But you don't get as big
Reviews.
as that without having a good foundation.
Yeah.
Wait, is that which one is that then?
Are they both the same brand?
No.
No.
One's different. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
that's
this
a
one has-
knockoff.
Well, this one has 22 million downloads.
You can get. Oh, that's.
This one seems like the official one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense because it has 3.6 stars.
And also,
Notice how all of them are either 5 stars or 1 star.
yeah, there's nothing in between, and it's super easy for these big companies to create bots to spam 5 stars in their reviews. But that's not just TikTok. That's
Yeah, that's the
social
one
media in
that's-
general.
Right.
Yeah.
But also TikTok has the it's able to create, unpack, and like zip files, download and upload them to different servers. So that is most apps wouldn't have to do that, which is kind of concerning, but it's what it is. That's
Yeah.
you should come to expect that in the days of everything being online and public.
Which it's like, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't normally. I don't even have the app. I never have. It wouldn't bother me as much if India didn't take such extreme measures that quickly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they thought that it was a violation of national security. So.
Which it might, but we just don't know that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think, like, going forward, if it does pose a legitimate threat once we learn more about it, I think it would be understandable to delete or to ban it.
Mhm.
Which there'd be easy ways to get around it. But like now, I don't think there's enough evidence to support banning it. It would just seem anti-business right now.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, it's kind of a stupid app.
It is very stupid.
But we also
But-
can't let our personal opinions of the app cloud our judgment of the
Yeah.
situation
Yeah,
that's
we need to
going on.
treat it objectively.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it does pose to be a threat to American security, where they're not just doing what the normal apps do and like getting some of your information for advertising reasons, then yeah, I think it should probably be banned.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, the creators of, well, at the time, Musical.ly were actually quite smart. Can you search up when Musical.ly was created? Because around that same time, that was around the time that Vine was canceled by Twitter. So people still watch those Vine compilations on YouTube.
Yeah, they
And
do.
Musical.ly and now TikTok was a substitute that they made for Vine.
It was all essentially the same line.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was a
now-
quite smart business plan to hop in as soon as a bunch of people from one fan base, one group, one social media app, they didn't have a place to post anymore, so they needed somewhere else to go. And lots of people have been saying that if TikTok does get banned, they're just going to flock to YouTube, which people are going to find that YouTube isn't as good as TikTok is.
Yeah, TikTok it's based around the whole short video ideas,
Yeah.
and YouTube just isn't meant for that. You can't have hundreds of 10-second videos in your feed.
You can't even advertise on any videos unless it's after 10 minutes.
right.
Yeah.
And it's super hard to get in the algorithm to start growing a channel from scratch.
Yeah. It's just
It takes sometimes it takes people like a couple months to get up to like 1 million followers, sometimes half a year. But then some people, like there's some channels that I follow on YouTube that have been around since like 2008 or so, and they still haven't even passed 10,000 followers yet, which is just insane.
Well, like,
It just proves how luck based it is. It also has to do with how much amount of people you have on the inside working at YouTube that can benefit you.
yeah.
But in that way, it's like Twitch.
Well, also, I don't know how we would go about resolving this problem. Like, the threat is there. We're not sure how valid it is. But, I mean, you can have the Chinese government go out and make a statement, but why would we believe them, per se? I don't know how you would go about resolving this issue.
I think that I don't think that anything's really going to come of this. I just think it's going to be continually threatened to be taken care of. It's kind of like, this is completely off topic, but like how the driving laws, they said that they want to change that for years, and they just did that. They've been saying that for like, what, 40 years or something?
I don't know.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while.
But I think it's going to be like that, where they're constantly saying, yeah, we're gonna get rid of it, we're going to ban it, but it's just not going to happen. And then once it's faded out of, when no one cares about it anymore, then it's going to be banned,
Right.
when it's out of relevancy.
Anyway, so yeah, I found the release date of Musical.ly. I also found that Musical.ly wasn't actually turned into TikTok. It was merged with TikTok.
Oh,
But
yeah,
anyways.
the company bought them out.
Yeah, ByteDance
Yeah,
acquired musical dot Musical.ly.
Yeah, that was the...
What year was Musical.ly?
It was 2014, August. 5 years. It's not 5
That's
years.
3
About
years.
5.
Wait, from 2014 to 2017?
Wait, so when was Musical.ly put up?
Oh, never mind.
Initial release
Whoops.
date, August 2014.
Musical.ly was, not Musical.ly, Vine was shut down January 4th, 2013.
Yeah.
So yeah, around the same time. Which those apps, it didn't take them, I don't remember the exact day, I just saw it. But it took them like a couple months to program this app.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy for a social media app.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially with that big of a cult following.
And been Musical.ly merged with TikTok in 2018, August. So about 4 years after Musical.ly was made, it merged with TikTok. TikTok was made
2016?
probably around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going
Yeah,
forward,
2016,
you guys
September.
don't think this will be much of an issue?
Also,
It'll
wait,
just-
go back. If it was in 2016, it is still apparently the 7th most downloaded mobile app of the decade. From
Jeez.
2010 to 2019, and it was only around for half of that time. Which is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just proves how... Oh no, Vine was shut down in 2016. Never mind. It was created in 2013.
Which, I mean, they're doing something right over there because people keep coming back even with all the lawsuits.
Yeah.
Like, they're a legitimate company. It's not like their sole purpose is just to take information.
Yeah.
They're a fully operating company. But, yeah, it's kind of unnerving to see that the people who own TikTok have to follow by Chinese law, which theirs essentially do whatever the government tells you to do.
And
Yeah.
that's why I'm going to keep bringing up Huawei, because it's a company that's in the same boat.
Yeah.
Originally, they were going to get a 35%, I believe, market share of all 5G towers in, I think, the entirety of
Oh, yeah, I
Europe,
heard about that.
or something like that. It was insane. But then these allegations came out of them harvesting data from U.S. politicians, because, it's a really popular phone brand. It's one of the 3 biggest in the world.
Yep.
Right.
And that's why you don't see any of those in the U.S. anymore, any new ones. They're still allowed to maintain their older ones, but they're not allowed to release any new ones in the U.S. because of those security concerns.
And that was one of the situations where it did amount to something, but I think we're a little early now. We're not really sure if it will amount to something or if it will be nothing.
Yeah.
What year was this? Like,
What year was what?
when the allegations came out? Was that this year? Or
For
last
Huawei,
year?
or I think
Huawei, I think.
TikTok it started in 2019, but it just came to the forefront about now.
No, the
Huawei was-
Huawei allegations.
Huawei was
That's-
like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe 2. But it really gives you a scope of things that are going on right now.
Yeah, and you'd hope from here on out people will check their permissions more, but they might just assume that TikTok is an honest company, and they might just ignore it anyways because they have this addiction to it.
Yeah, I think it was like a year ago.
Is there anything else anyone wants to talk about?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
Well,
that was a good point to end things
that
off
looks
on.
good. All right. Thank you for watching Potato Tomato.